All right, I'm here, G to G Tactical, and I realized that I've told the story so many times, but I hadn't really talked about it on a camera or posted, of how I came up with the Splitfire rapid safety. And I thought that would be good for documenting, and my whole deal is I love to invent, trying to tinker and solve problems. And I just figured it would be cool to just talk about that and share it with you. And so I figured I'd start off first by saying that I'm a fraud. And I don't mean that genuinely. I mean that my family, we grew up on the farm. We grow potatoes, sugar beets, wheat. We've got some cows. And we've been around guns, but my family doesn't hunt, and like, we knew gun safety, but that's about it. And so that's what I mean. I'm coming into this gun deal, and I don't have a gun background, but anyway, it's always fun. And so I've had a few inventions in the past, and my business partner has the same background that I do. And anyway, we came into this, and I got this idea, but I run a retail store, one of the most helpful hardware stores on the planet, and we sell ammo here. And about a year ago, I got motivated. I was like, man, I should know more about ammo that we sell. I mean, I knew the 223 and the 5.56 and the 9mm and 17 HMR and 308, and anyway, I knew those were popular, but I didn't really understand kind of what went into them. So I was like, man, I'm just gonna learn. So I started learning about them, and then I got super interested in just the engineering. Oh my gosh, there's so many intelligent people. I mean, I feel like I'm down here and the gun people are just up here. So many intelligent people in this space that are very just take matters into my own hands, and this tweak and that tweak, and really making everything your own. And anyway, it was just really cool to see the fruits of that. And so before then, all my prior knowledge of guns came from Call of Duty. Modern Warfare 2 is probably about the best title, but anyway, we'll leave that debate for another day. So I got into engineering, was really fascinated by the P90, the PS90. I think that's made by FN, and just how the bullets are perpendicular to the barrel, and then they rotate at the last minute on a clip. They go down, chamber, and then your ejection port is straight down. And then from that, I learned the term bullpup, and got into the bullpup, and that's, anyway, in case no one knew like I did a year ago, it's where the chamber is in front of the trigger. So with an AR, goodness, pick a gun here. With an AR, we've got our chamber and we've got our trigger grip behind that. A bullpup is essentially reversed, so your trigger's up here, your chamber's back here, and what that gets you is a very large size advantage. So your chamber's basically back in the stock, your handle's about in the same place, but you get the same length of barrel, but it's a lot shorter than an AR. And anyway, so just got caught up in researching those, and I thought it was a neat idea, even though there's some downsides with the trigger quality, and you can't add a Splitfire RS in there, but we've got the AR-15 for that, and ultimately that's the AR-15 platform is the pickup of the gun world. I mean, if you have a gun, you probably have at least one AR-15, if not 3, 4, 5, or 6 of them. So anyway, got into that, ended up looking at the IWI Taver and the Desert Tech Wolverine, and just thought that was so cool, and ended up getting the Wolverine in a 300 blackout with the intentions of a kind of a self-defense setup with a suppressor, and anyway, that sort of stuff. But after that, I had some folks that did 3D printing, mostly plastic. They got into titanium 3D printing, coincidentally, so that's what I've got here. and they're kind of doing some silencers, kind of doing some FRTs, and it's like, oh man, that's pretty cool. For my bachelor party, we went to a full auto gun range, and man, it was a blast. And it was like, oh, that's pretty cool that you can kind of throw the FRTs in there. And then they're like, well, we're making gun parts now, and they've contracted with some sizable companies. Got told there's some NDAs, so I don't know who the heck they are, but anyway, pretty cool that they're doing that stuff. And they said, if you have any ideas, let us know. But okay, I don't. Like I said, the gun people, the gun world, they're up here in intelligence, and my goodness, I'm scraping the bottom here. But like, whatever. I don't have anything. And then a little while later, I came across the Hoffman Tactical Super Safety, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's really cool. What a novel idea. A lot of people aren't comfortable changing their trigger groups, and it's really easy to swap the safety. It's just a little bit easier than messing with the trigger groups with the full reset trigger with FRTs. And I was like, wow, a super safety, that's pretty cool. And so it kind of got me thinking. I was like, man, I wonder if you could do one. For those of you that don't know, grab another lower here. The Hoffman Tactical is a push button design, and so it rides perpendicular, and you push the button in and out, left and right, and then that's what adjusts your forced reset function on that trigger. I was like, man, that's cool. I was like, but from the beginning, there's two issues I see with that side to side. One is everybody's used to the lever, the 90-degree throw, and then your three options. The push button safety, it works, but it's just not what's common. And then the second thing was, with that design, there's some milling that has to be done on the tail of the trigger right there. And so I was like, well, okay, that's really fascinating. And in my head, I'm like, okay, I wonder if I could build something that like offset basically with the throw. So you start from your safe and you go to your third position, it's 180 degrees of travel. And so I started kind of doing the math on the geometry, and I was like, man, I think I can lower the lever into that to have it modify the trigger group so you can have that three positions. And I looked everywhere, and I could not find anyone doing it that had that idea. So I was like, I'm gonna see if I can do this, if I can make this work. So I own a 3D printer for the inventions that I work on. It's not a nice one, $300 or $400 at most, but I've been through 3 or 4 of them in the last 8 or 10 years, and they've come a long way. So it's really cool, especially for prototyping. And so I got out, and let's see, I probably went through about 100 versions of it, just trying to get it right, modify parts. So this doesn't. So there's another. I'm not a formally trained engineer. Everything I've learned has been, I guess, self-taught in the engineering world. And there's some guys that are like, hey, that's good. That's how you get the best results. But it feels like it takes me about 50 times longer than everyone else to do stuff. But anyway, nonetheless, I can figure it out without bugging anyone else. And so I went ahead and I got to like a version 100, and then all of a sudden I've got a 3-position. And keep in mind, I was plastic, and then I had a screw going through it to hold everything together. But I got to that version 100, and I remember the night I was like, man, I've got to go try this. I've got to go shoot it, because it was working just fantastic by hand. And this is a much later version, but anyway, just a plastic lever, just to show you the interaction. And so I went out. It was like, 10 o'clock at night or so. And I figured I'd show you. I'm not good at video editing either, so we're just going to film a camera here.
But let's see, I was testing my semi, and everything's in plastic, so I was trying to be gentle, but this was the very first one. But then the full semi is right here.
Anyway, it was cool. Obviously, just on the hood of my pickup, the tail lights in the night, or the headlights in the night, and I was like, oh my gosh, it works. And the satisfaction of, at this point, I was, hundreds of hours into it, probably 200 hours, which is, anyway, embarrassing. So, but that's just inventing, and I'd rather be honest. I don't have any pride. So anyway, think what you will about that. But I had it, and I was so excited. So I was like, okay, great. Let's start the patent attorney process. Let's get NDAs in place. Let's call my buddies that are 3D printing titanium gun parts now, and let's get some working versions. I get all that done. We start the ball rolling on everything, spending the money that I don't have, and then for a month I can't get it to work again. Like, same design, I've got the design that worked, cannot get it figured out. And like, I'm so thankful that I had that on video, because I probably would have went crazy. And anyway, could not figure it out. And some of you guys were probably thinking in the back of your head, and it's what I learned just not being around guns. What I had, thought it was somewhere around here. It probably is sitting on my desk over there. Anyway, I start looking at, so after 3 weeks or a month, I'm so discouraged. I'm like, it was working, and yeah, the lower too. It was working, and I could not figure it out. And finally, I am looking through, I'm like, okay, let's look at the troubleshooting videos. And I looked at troubleshooting for like FRTs and just like what's going on. And I came across a term called bolt bounce, and go, okay, well, so that took me 3 weeks or a month to solve there. So swap in the H3 buffer instead of the standard buffer, and it works just fine. So I had a working design, pulling my hair out, another few hundred hours into this, and oh gosh, it was just all solved with an H3 buffer. And I was like, okay, well, that's good news. I had a working design the entire time, but just the buffer weight was the wrong size. For the life of me, I cannot figure out how come it worked the first time. We're going to call that a miracle, a gift from God, that's the direction we were going, because I think I would have given up a long time ago had that not worked out the first time. I've gone a little crazy since then trying to get that worked out. So anyway, kind of got that solved, and then I came across this company called the Atrius Super Selector, and I was like, oh gosh, a 3-position safety. I was like, oh no, I've already got all this money dumped into a patent. I didn't know about it before, and I started looking at the design on the website and stuff, and seeing their back orders, and anyway, all that, and I went, huh, okay, they had a decent design, it looked like, so I went on it, and I was like, okay, they solved the problem completely differently from how I solved it. And so in my head, I'm going, okay, well, maybe we can kind of have a competitor product, and just give the market some options. But the more I look at it, just where some of the issues are, where some of the levers are breaking, and it seemed like a great company, great guys, and anyway, but I've just been focused on how can I have the best product for us, and how I solve that forced reset problem. I'm really proud of, and I think we've got the best super safety, rapid safety that'll be available. We just have to make sure that we get the quality, and that's what I've been calling all my friends to bring me all the AR-15s we possibly can to make sure that we have somewhat of a universal fit. And so far, it's going very, very well for that. So it's just exciting. So those are like some of the big roller coasters of going, oh crap, somebody already has, you know, a competitor product with 3-position safety. And it's like, oh crap, well they solved it completely differently from how my design is. And oh, what's the best, you know, what's going to be the best design? And I kind of keep working and go, man, I think it's going to turn out really well. And there's a few reasons for that. I'll do in another video or something, but this is just about talking to the gun folks and inventors, just trying to set the stage on where this kind of came from, and just being thankful and grateful for all the just super intelligent people that came before myself. And I've got a few other ideas in the works that are completely novel, and because of my ignorance to not being educated about guns, I'm able to come into some of the situations and just look at it different. And there's some solutions that we'll see hopefully next year once we have all the paperwork filed. And anyway, really excited about that too, but all the excitement is in this product right now. So anyway, as an inventor too, you know, if it seems like everybody has an idea and it's hard to commit to something and have that knowledge. And so if this is patent number, I don't know, 4 or 5 for me, that I've actually filed, and I would have a few pieces of advice for you. And that's like, get a working design. Show as few people as possible, but like, get a working design. You cannot patent something if you sell it first or publicly disclose it. So you just got to keep that in mind. You can't go, oh, hey, I'm going to sell a few and then pay for the patent. And then it's like, yeah, well, once you sell a few, your patent's over with. No longer can do that. Patent attorney, there's a lot out there. It's hard to think about kind of the cost, but generally a patent, you're $4,000-ish, $5,000 to something simple, and it can go up from there. But all of my inventions have been pretty simple, mechanical stuff. The Splitfire, I haven't got the bill yet, but I'm sure it's coming. And anyway, we had to do a lot of art for that one, just showing all the different actions. So that one's going to be a little bit more. I'm anticipating that's going to be probably still under 10, but probably close to that. But anyway, if you do have an idea, I mean, non-disclosure agreements are great, so you can talk to the people that you need to within the industry, and that helps get you protected and getting a patent filed sooner rather than later, but also kind of have the engineering worked out. And anyway, do as much research as you can. As any inventor with no resources starting out, it's tough. So now let's see. Should I end the video here, or should we kind of go over how it works, right? Something like that? Okay. Well, maybe we'll do that in another video. But anyway, thanks for watching, and anyway, I'll have another video soon. So glory to God.